Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The first of two public hearings regarding the potential closure of Columbia Elementary School will take place on Thursday. The suspect in a fatal East Wenatchee homicide that took place last year faces new criminal charges when he goes to trial next month. 2 straight days now of record high temperatures in the Wenatchee Valley, with a third expected tomorrow. More coming up in your local weather forecast. Just 3 years after the lines were drawn, Washington's legislative districts are being reorganized again, this time by a federal lawsuit. On Friday, District Judge Robert Lansnick adopted a map proposed by plaintiffs in a suit challenging the state's redistricting process, which alleged that new districts diluted the voting power of Latinos in the Yakima region. The new map splits up north central Washington's 12th district, putting East Wenatchee and a large part of Wenatchee, including its historic downtown and the old station area, into the 7th legislative district. The town of Rock Island and Pangbourne Memorial Airport will now be in the 13th district, which previously stopped at the Grant County line. The remapping decision is likely to go to a federal appeals court, but not before Washington voters choose their legislators in November. Among the Washington lawmakers affected by the redistricting ruling is 12th District Senator Brad Hawkins, who's running for his third term this year, but will now have to move from East Wenatchee to Wenatchee to do so. Hawkins is one of 3 state senators, all Republicans, who were drawn out of their districts by the latest federal ruling. Hawkins is up for re-election in November, but he and his family currently live just outside East Wenatchee. In a visit with NCWLIFE News today, Hawkins condemned the court's decision, but said he'll make the move to continue serving the 12th district.
For me, if this happened 2 years ago, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just let the court system play out and appeal and see what the final decision is. But in this case with me, you have to be, you have to live in your district in order and be a registered voter in that area in order to run for office. And so I am relocating my family to the Wenatchee area in early April, spring break. But yeah, it impacts a lot of us, and it's really unfortunate. And not only does it impact like me in particular, or these members in particular, it impacts their communities.
The first of 2 public hearings regarding the potential closure of Columbia Elementary School will take place on Thursday. Public comments will only be accepted in person and will not be offered through Zoom, and speakers must complete a public comment form prior to speaking. English speakers will be allowed 3 minutes for comment, and Spanish speakers will be allowed 7 minutes to accommodate for Spanish interpretation provided by a certified Spanish interpreter. Signs, banners, and displays are prohibited before, during, and after the hearing, and speakers will not be allowed to donate time to another person so they can speak longer. The hearing will take place in the Wenatchee High School Commons from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and will be live streamed on the district's YouTube channel with closed captioning options. The NCWLIFE channel's parent company, Localtel Communications, is in the process of being acquired by Ziply Fiber. Localtel CEO Dimitri Mandelis announced the planned purchase of the company on Friday. The deal requires federal approval through FCC, which is expected to take several months. Ziply Fiber is a Kirkland-based fiber internet company that acquired the assets of Frontier Communications in 2020 and the Ephrata-based service iFiber 2 years later. If the acquisition gets the green light, Localtel says it plans to continue to operate under the same name with its existing management team and no change in services. When we come back, the Washington State Department of Health has updated their guidance for what to do when someone is sick with COVID-19, the flu, RSVP, or other respiratory viruses. And Congressman Dan Newhouse announced this morning that he'll be hosting 2 telephone town hall sessions this week to hear from residents of Washington's 4th District. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
There's no place like home. Because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Shoot, I think I left my keys in the kitchen. Can you grab them?
Yep.
Find them?
What's this?
It's a locking bag. It keeps Grandma's medication safe.
But I could just take it.
Well, for one thing, it locks. And if it were gone, I know there's a problem.
Huh. Well played.
Help prevent opioid misuse before it starts. Visit getthefactsrx.com.
Now is a great time to get an offer you'll love on the Accord Hybrid and CR-V Hybrid. Inventory is here, so bring on the fun. Bring on the weekend getaways. Bring on the memories. And get a great offer on a Honda, named the 2023 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
The suspect in a fatal East Wenatchee homicide that took place last year faces new criminal charges when he goes to trial next month. 31-year-old Eric Farias Reyes has been in jail custody for 11 months after his arrest and the killing of 23-year-old Elias Mora Ontiveros, who was shot to death near Pangbourne Airport in the spring of 2023. Farias was charged with second-degree murder and assault. On Friday, Douglas County prosecutors amended the charges to add lesser included felony counts, which include first and second-degree manslaughter. Lesser included charges allow a jury to find a defendant guilty of a less serious crime if the evidence allows it. Farias faces trial on April 23rd. The Washington State Department of Health has updated their guidance for what to do when someone is sick with COVID-19, the flu, RSVP, or other respiratory viruses. The new guidance recommends people sick with COVID-19 return to normal activities when their symptoms are getting better overall and they've not had a fever without having to use fever-reducing medications for at least 24 hours. Previous COVID-19 guidance recommended people isolate for at least 5 full days after symptoms appeared. The new respiratory illness guidance also recommends staying away from high-risk people until receiving a negative COVID-19 antigen test for 10 days after symptoms of infection start, or for 10 days since testing positive for COVID-19 for people who never develop symptoms. DOH recommends taking extra precautions during the first 5 days after resuming normal activities after COVID-19, flu, RSVP, or other respiratory viruses, including wearing a mask and testing when you'll be around others indoors. Congressman Dan Newhouse announced this morning that he will be hosting 2 telephone town hall sessions this week to hear from residents of Washington's 4th District. Both sessions will take place on Thursday. The meeting for residents of Okanagan, Douglas, and Grant counties will be from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Individuals interested in joining the town hall session can RSVP online on the Congressman's website. Coming up next, CMI Orchards and Royal Family Farming recently partnered to launch the Soil Center, a sustainable composting organization. We'll tell you more on that coming up in tonight's feature story. Another record-setting weather day is possible tomorrow with changes coming by the end of the week. I'll have all the details coming up in your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today and let's find your happy place.
The madness has started at the National RV Show, being hosted once again at the Grant County Fairgrounds, March 14th through the 18th.
Top manufacturers are coming from across the country,
like Grand Design, Flagstaff, Thor, Forest River, and SMC Horse Trailers.
Thanks on site with super low interest rates.
0 down and no payments till July. Enter to win $30,000 in cash or a new 2023 StarCraft trailer. No purchase necessary. Shoot the basket and get an additional $500 off after you make your deal. The National RV Show has Grand Design, Flagstaff,
and more
at the Grant County Fairgrounds, March 14th through the 18th.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Culinary Apple is North Central Washington's premier kitchen store with everything you need to elevate your own culinary experience.
A walk on Wooden Avenue wouldn't be complete without a stop at the Chelan Chamber of Commerce. There you'll find all the information you need about local businesses, events, and activities across the entire Chelan Valley.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
Abby says thank you to all the hometown heroes making our community so great. If you know a deserving hometown hero, shoot us an email, hero@abbys.com. Every week, we'll thank some of these heroes with a free giant pizza. Abby's, proud to serve your community. Be a hero tonight. Treat your family and friends to Abby's famous hometown hero pizza. This giant features our classic pepperoni, tasty Italian sausage, and crisp green peppers for a one-of-a-kind legendary flavor. Visit abbys.com for a special pizza at a very special price.
CMI Orchards and Royal Family Farming recently partnered to launch the Soil Center, a sustainable composting organization. Spearheading the Soil Center is newly appointed President John Cox. NCWLIFE News reporter Casey Safford caught up with Cox to discuss the Soil Center and its mission of promoting sustainable agriculture.
So the mission of the Soil Center really is to help advance regenerative and sustainable practices in agriculture. You know, we're really trying to basically take wastes that are different parts of our enterprise and repurpose them into soil amendments to get them back in the ground.
How do you see the Soil Center making a significant change in sustainable agriculture?
Oh, that's a great question. I think one of the big ones we can do is really affect the tree fruit industry. You know, with the tree fruit industry right now, when you have a tree or an orchard that you want to rip out or do something with, typically people pull them out and then burn the trees. And that's just kind of what people do. And so what we can do is we'll actually have a mobile wood chipping operation to go out and strongly encourage growers to stop that process. We're doing it with our partner growers to say, hey, we're not going to burn any trees anymore. So then we can take that wood and repurpose it through other different processes we have at the Soil Center into soil amendments.
Oh, that's great. So tell me, now that the Soil Center has officially launched, what does the future entail? Are there any big projects on the horizon that you're eager to get started on?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a lot of big projects on the horizon. I mean, we're right now we're building out the system. You know, so as part of that, there's a next level compost unit we're putting in. So it's called an aerated static pile. It's a method of composting that'll really help us compost at next level, increase our throughput, increase the ability for us to compost, and so forth. So that's going in, but that's a pretty big project to do the legwork to make that happen. So there's that. And there's also just other physical facility things we're trying to build out.
What are the ways that community members could get involved in this?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, when there's waste that they want to compost, they can reach out. We're looking to bring that service online. That's probably not going to be online until next year, but basically to enable people to have a way to compost their compostable waste, because we'll be able to do it at a large scale. And that's one of the things that really brings strength to us. So they can do that. And then on the back end, you know, we're looking to also sell our compost to private individuals and to commercial farms.
So what would you say is the factor that makes the Soil Center stand out against similar organizations in that industry?
Worms.
Worms.
Worms is one of the big things we can do. We actually have the world's largest worm farm.
Oh, wow.
Right, and it's pretty, and some of the things we can do with that really make us unique.
Would you mind diving into that a little more?
Sure,
what kind of things do you see happening with that?
So think of it like this. The worm farm exists mostly, we started the worm farm as a way to kind of help mitigate our waste at our dairy partners.
And so what we found with that, essentially, think of the worm farm as a giant swimming pool for worms, okay?
Okay.
Right? And the
That's
top,
quite an image.
It's quite an image, right? But instead of water, it's got wood chips in there. Okay, so that goes back to the orchards. We can repurpose wood from the orchards and put it into our worm beds at our worm farm. So then what do we do with that? We use that as a filtration device for our dairy waste, and then that basically the worms will break down the liquid that's applied to it. And then what we can do on the back end, every year, every 18 months, we have to pull those wood chips out. So then we can take those wood chips, we can compost them, and they're rich with many nutrients, they're rich with worms, and we can use that to basically augment our compost.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. What a weekend with temperatures in the upper 60s on Saturday. Record-setting day yesterday of 71 degrees, 70 our old record, and look at this Monday. Blue sky and the beautiful blue waters of Lake Chelan. What a fantastic day to be up that way today, or anywhere around north central Washington. Just fantastic. Tomorrow, the first day of spring, and I'll tell you what, it is going to feel like it. We are going to be in the low 70s. We're probably going to start off this spring with a record high tomorrow. Some folks may stay in the upper 60s, but all in all, through tomorrow, our weather will stay nice. And then our weather begins to change on Wednesday as a weak storm system moves through, and the combination of high pressure and low pressure very tightly packed. We're going to see some winds 20 to 25 miles an hour in Wenatchee, about 25 to 30 up in Omak. The strongest wind I think will be from Wilbur down into Moses Lake. Also winds there between 25 and 30 miles an hour. So keep that in mind if you're traveling and out and about on Wednesday. Tomorrow's high temperatures, most of these will be record highs. 74 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 73 for Quincy, 72 in Ellensburg as well, 72 for Wenatchee. Tomorrow's high record temperature is 70, so it looks like we will make it 3 days in a row with record highs. 72s as well in Eniat and Chelan, 67. How about that beautiful day tomorrow up in Lake Wenatchee? All right, tonight we can expect, let's go back, weather this week. We'll start off with that. Here's high pressure, and it will continue to move into the Pacific Northwest through tomorrow, and then that is what's waiting for us as we get into the middle and end of next week. It's going to really cool us off, kick up those winds as I mentioned on Wednesday, and we will see temperatures back to normal by the end of the week. Tonight, mostly clear skies. How about lows tonight in the upper 40s? Unbelievably mild tonight. For Tuesday, sunshine all over the western United States. We will see record highs on Tuesday with highs generally in those lower 70s for almost all of us in central and eastern Washington. For midweek Wednesday, this is where we transition a little bit. You can see an area of low pressure just in southern British Columbia. Another one off in the Pacific. That will bring some clouds into western Washington. Breezy and cooler for Wednesday with high temperatures dropping down about 10 degrees into the low 60s for Wednesday. Thursday's weather, partly cloudy sky. We're going to stay mild. There is an area of low pressure off the coast that will push some showers into western Washington. Also the Cascades on Thursday. We'll drop some more. High temperatures on Thursday around 60 degrees. By Friday, this area of low pressure will really develop just off the coast of Northern California, and that's going to throw some showers our way. A 30% chance of rain Friday. We'll continue with our cool down with highs in the upper 50s to end our work week. And then by Saturday, great big area of high pressure right over the top of us, and that rotation around that low, it's going to make for a very messy western part of the U.S., the Intermountain West. We'll see about a 50% chance of rain on Sunday, cooling down some more with highs in the low 50s. And then by Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, just a slight chance for rain, about a 30% chance of the wet stuff. Most of that will stay to our south. We're going to continue that cool down. We're talking highs on Sunday below normal at only around 50 degrees. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. 49 overnight tonight. One more very warm day tomorrow at 72. I'll tell you, Wednesday and Thursday, not bad either. 62 Wednesday, 60 on Thursday, maybe a little breezy on Wednesday, and then our weather gets back to normal for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, anywhere from a 30 to 50% chance of rain. 57 Friday, and cooling down to only about 50 degrees for a high on Sunday. And that's a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
How do you think like an entrepreneur?
I have had it in mind starting my own business. This is all really good to know right now. I am currently making a vision board. I am talking about my well-being, my personal finances, and habits that I would like to work on and to improve myself to be a better entrepreneur.
Well, a happy Monday to you. Washington State's men's basketball team was disappointed with its loss to Colorado in the Pac-12 tournament Friday, but will still be headed to the NCAA tournament. Oregon, who shocked 6th-ranked Arizona Friday, beat Colorado for the Pac-12 championship Saturday at 75-68. The Cougars will head east for their first-round game after receiving a 7 seed and will face 10th-seeded Drake at 7:05 on True TV. Gonzaga, meanwhile, after falling in the WCC title game last week to St. Mary's, will head for Salt Lake City in the Midwest bracket to face McNeese Thursday at 4:25. That'll be on TBS. Coach Mark Few says he's relieved to be headed back to the tournament. He says it's not something that should be considered an automatic.
Has a tendency to take it for granted. I get people running up to me, just can't wait for March Madness. You know, they're telling me that in July, and I'm just like, no, you got to earn your way into that. You don't just get it. So, and obviously there were times this year when it didn't seem like it might happen. So hopefully that was a good kind of way to get us back level and set to really appreciate moments like this. And
yesterday was also Selection Sunday for the ladies, with Haley Van List's LSU Tigers receiving a 3 seed. They'll be playing at home in Baton Rouge against Rice Friday at 1 o'clock. That'll be on ESPN. Eastern Washington women were seeded 14th and will play 3rd-seeded Oregon State. That'll be Friday at 5 on ESPNU. The Gonzaga women are a 4 seed in the Portland region and will host UC Irvine in the first round Saturday at 4:30 on ESPN2. Coach Linda Fortier says they're fortunate to have the opportunity to play tournament games on their home court.
I'm excited. I'm really happy for our team, and I'm happy for Spokane and our staff. This is something new for us, and new is not, sometimes we think of new as being scary and daunting and bad, and new is not always bad. It's really exciting.
Well, the Mariners couldn't hold a lead late and lost to Arizona in Cactus League baseball yesterday, 5-4 the final. Seattle got some early help from Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, and Mitch Garver to give Logan Gilbert support on the mound.
Looking to reestablish some fastball command here today. Scott Service talked about that a lot. A swing and a miss, and Logan Gilbert off to a good start. Big Logan, his 4th spring start. Breaking ball and a good one. Foul tip held on by Big Cal. A 1-2-3 tap the first. As Logan Gilbert off to a really good start. Here's a 1-2 pitch. There you go, base hit. Dylan Moore's going to come around 3rd and score. Julio digging to 3rd. He'll get there standing. RBI. Jorge Polanco. Polanco holds. Garver to left field. Garlic drops in front of him. Julio scores. No problem. No throw. Breaking ball and a beauty. Got him. Swing and a miss. An off-speed pitch with a lot of movement. His 5th strikeout into the 5th. Logan Gilbert. And foul tip held on by Cal. That's strikeout number 6. Logan's got 6 Ks in the walks. something else. That is a fine exhibition of pitching right there from Logan Gilbert.
Seattle was on the road in Surprise, Arizona earlier today to take on the Rangers. Well, Seattle Kraken have now lost 4 straight NHL games after a 4-1 decision to Nashville Saturday. Andrei Burakovsky was the only Kraken to find the back of the net in Saturday's loss. Kraken host Buffalo tonight at 7 o'clock. That'll be on Root Sports Northwest. The Wenatchee Wild had a busy weekend of Western Hockey League play, dropping 2 and winning 1. The lone win came on home ice Friday night in a 3-1 decision over the Spokane Chiefs. Brandon G. was solid in goal, stopping 24-25 shots in the win. Saturday didn't go as well in front of a huge crowd at the Town Toyota Center as Portland came away with a 5-3 victory. Hayden Moore, Miles Cooper, and Kenta Isogai scored for the Wild, but Winterhawks were just too much down the stretch. The weekend concluded in Spokane's Veteran Memorial Arena, where the Chiefs pounded the Wild 6-1. Wenatchee begins the final 3 games of the regular season on the road Wednesday at Victoria at 7:05. You can hear it locally on KPQ. Well, the second full weekend of prep sports and soccer got under the way and in the books over the weekend as we prepare for the Battle of the Bridge coming up tomorrow. On Friday, it was Eastmont falling to Newport 3-1. Wenatchee dropped a similar decision to Skyline. The Wildcats fell to Mount Si Saturday 5-2. Moses Lake blanked Natchez Valley 5-0. Cascade beat Brewster. Cashmere blanked Cashmere blanked Zilla. There you go. Quincy stopped Okanagan. Bear Creek over Chelan, and Manson was able to beat Oroville 3-0. In reference to that Battle of the Bridge, soccer style tomorrow night, NCWLIFE will be there to broadcast Wenatchee and Eastmont live at Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl. Sebastian Morag and Matt Wisen have our pregame beginning at 6:50, both on TV and Facebook. Prep baseball scoreboard from Friday. Moses Lake edged Chiawana, while Davenport swept 2 games in a doubleheader against Lake Roosevelt. Saturday scoreboard looked like this, with Glacier Peak topping Eastmont. Ephrata swept Twinbell from Grandview. Natchez Valley swept Cashmere. Quincy took 2 from Walook. Colville and Chelan split, with the Crimson Hawks winning the opener 12-2. The Goats took the nightcap 8-3. Liberty Bell beat Omak. Cle Elum swept Okanagan. Manson took 2 from Warden, and Tonasca edged Kettle Falls by a final of 8-7. On the Friday scoreboard from Prep Fast Pitch Softball, Moses Lake beat Mount Spokane 7-2. Lake Roosevelt swept a doubleheader from Davenport. Liberty Bell beat Bridgeport. Moses Lake won another couple games Saturday, downing Meade and Hermiston. Eastmont split split, blanking Gonzaga Prep 17-zip before falling at a hand for 10-2. Tahoma beat Ephrata 10-2 before the Tigers shut out Clarkston 10-zip. Quincy edged Walook. Cashmere cruised past Brewster in 2 games. Bridgeport and Oroville split a lopsided ends of a doubleheader. Mustangs won the opener 25-10. The Hornets won the nightcap 24-8. And it was Kettle Falls downing Tonasket. Turning to lacrosse, the Wenatchee boys picked up a couple of wins over the weekend, downing Walla Walla Friday 10-2 behind 3 goals from Evan Mathena. KJ Gilman had 4 goals and 3 assists Saturday in a 12-6 win over Kamaikan. We'll be live with Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl on Thursday. Wenatchee hosts Chiawana. My pregame with Thomas Bass starts at 6:50. That'll be live on Facebook. We'll have the game Friday on TV at 7. That's a look at sports news. Have a happy Monday.
On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, spring is busting out all over, and once we have the vernal equinox, Bonnie Orr takes center stage. We have a lot on our plate, don't we?
Oh, it is going to be so wonderful having a beautiful spring. We had such a gray winter, and the sunshine's nice, and you need to know what to do.
You might as well do it right. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of headache, and this lady knows what she's talking about. Bonnie Orr on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.